presentation. One of the things that's going to be necessary is to ultimately introduce the linear syntax in its full glory, so that we can do calculations. The other approach is to continue with examples, and I think I'm opting for the latter. I want to introduce now another example that sort of pares down our original schematic of a web service to an even more basic investigation, which is how does the web service make a copy of itself? How does it fork off a copy of the trigger-enabled handler that we described last time? Because that turns out to be that's right at the nexus of a number of issues that have to do with persistence, identity, and resources. And when we really identify all of those basic issues and the way they come together, we start to get at something very foundational, fundamental in a theory of dynamics and also how it relates to physical dynamics. So before I introduce the next example, I want to kind of give an intuitive account. The basic intuitive account is roughly as follows. Imagine that you, in terms of our cell phone number intuitions that we had before, so an agent wants to send along a message. The message is a recipe, for example, how to make a cake. But what the agent sends along is not just the recipe for baking a cake, but also it prefixes the instructions, copy down the recipe for making the cake, and post it, or call a friend and give them this same message. This was like a chain letter in some sense. So what the agent is doing is receiving a recipe, and the recipe includes the following things: how to make a cake, as well as copy down the recipe that you've just received, which recursively includes copy down the recipe that you just received and make the cake. So recipients who follow these instructions will sort of not only make cakes, but pass along the instructions to make cakes, and pass along the instructions to make cakes, etc., etc., etc. So that's roughly the example, or an intuitive account of the example. But in the next episode, we'll see how this shows up in a linear formalism.